Hello and welcome to the Coaches Show. This is Gary Livengood along with head football coach, Coach Tennant. Coach, it's August, only a week or so away from school starting again. You've been in fall practice for about 10 days now. The nights are getting colder, the trees are starting to turn, and it's football time in Preston County again.
Yeah, we're excited. The kids are excited. It's good to be back on the field coaching. It's been a long off-season. Football has the longest off-season of any sport, so it's really great to be back out on the field.
Well, a lot of things have changed football from last season, and especially finances, and especially when it comes down to trying to raise money and things for the football program. And we were just talking, approximately $900 per player to outfit them.
Right. That's for a junior varsity player. A helmet alone is $200. Even the prices have gone up to $220. So you multiply 900 times 50. That's a lot of money just in equipment. That's not counting all the other costs associated with having the program.
And you got to pay for bus drivers. You got to pay for mileage. I mean, there's so much you've got to pay for. What about the coaches' salaries?
We're responsible for that. We have to fundraise and have money available to pay ourselves, I guess, based on the county pay scale, whatever we've been contracted to be paid. We can't even give ourselves a raise if we wanted to.
Now, the way the economy is, not only in the United States but West Virginia and Preston County, the economy is not that. We have a lot of unemployment in Preston County. You continually have to fundraise in order to support this football program. How many times do you think you can go to the well year after year and asking for funds from these people to support our program?
Well, I think the key is the parents. Right now we have an outstanding group of parents that are really committed to the program and seeing that it continues. Because if we didn't have these parents that we have now, we probably wouldn't have a program. In my mind, they saved the program by going out and raising money. They've solicited businesses. We've had a major fundraiser that was a major success. And thanks to them, we will have a season. But,
and you probably plan on being here for a while, because looking at the building blocks that you're laying and the foundation you're laying for this program, it's starting to see some success to it. Do you feel that we could, year after year after year, this is just football, go out and raise money in the public here in Preston County with all the other 10 or 11 sports that we have?
All right, it's not sustainable what we have going now, where each program has to raise their own money. Like you said, we have to pay our own transportation costs. If we get a bus driver and we take him off his normal run, we even have to pay for a substitute bus driver. We pay for medical supplies. We can't raise that money year after year after year. The State Board of Education, which has control of this county, has to understand that. If they want to offer athletics, they have to be paid for.
My question is, I don't think you can do this year in and year out here in Preston County. A lot of counties in different states are going to charge us for a player. If you want to play football, we know what the budget is, and you divide it. There's 50 or 60 or 70 coming out for football. You divide it. If you want to play football, it's going to cost you $100. They're not doing this fundraising because it's hard on you, and everyone else is trying to do this fundraising. And these businesses out there only have X number of dollars.
Yeah.
What do you think about charging the players for playing?
Oh, I don't believe in that. I think that would be bad. This is a public high school. If they want to come out and do the things they're asked to do and follow the rules, they ought to be able to play, not based on their income level. We've got a situation now where we've got a couple players that can't practice because they don't have insurance. The school used to provide insurance, but due to the state takeover and the failure of the levy, the county couldn't find the money to pay for student insurance. So now each parent has to pay for their own if they don't already have it. And we've got a couple kids that parents just don't have it.
Again, that's not fair. Like you said, this is a public school system, and again, Preston County is just having all kind of problems right now, not only with the new schools they're building, but the levee failure and a bunch of other things. And hopefully, I know it's got to be hard on you as the head football coach in order to deal with this.
Yeah, it takes a toll, but that's why I was so glad for the season to start. I'm putting all that behind me and moving on and focusing just on the X's and O's and the kids and preparing them for a successful season.
Now, let me ask you another question here, talking about this. If there's some people who are not parents out there, or some people want to get involved into the program in the specific areas, how do they go about contacting you or contacting one of the ADs or somebody and say, all right, I want to help. I want to come up and help maintenance or help whatever. What do they do?
There's several ways. The best way is to contact the athletic directors. You could also contact our booster club, the Preston High School Boosters, or if you want to help out with football specifically, give me a call or email me.
Okay, so if you want to help Coach Tennant, the football program, I don't care if it's collecting tickets or doing something here at the stadium, a game night or whatever, and you're interested in helping out, or a financial donation, or to help these kids out that that need insurance in order to play football, get a hold of Coach Tennant and help the Preston Night football program. Coach, last year, first year, you started out 0-4. Mm-hmm. Then things started to change, and personnel changes here and there, and you won 3 out of your last 5 football programs and games, and you ended up 3-6,
right.
3-3 in the Big Ten. Now, you started late in the season, success. How did that build on your off-season program after the season was over?
Well, going into the off-season, even though we had our last game canceled because of the superstorm, we had a tremendous amount of momentum. Kids were really excited. They couldn't wait. I had to lock up the weight room because I didn't want them to get started until January. I wanted to give them time to wind down and unload from the season and get a fresh start in January. And since we started, we haven't looked back. This is one of the most dedicated group of players I've been around a long time.
And this motto, accountability and responsibility, I guess that's still really part of your motto this year?
Right. Well, the difference this year is last year was an introduction. They said, well, what is that? What's that mean? What's that mean? Well, they know what it means this year. They are making better decisions, and they know if they make a bad decision, they're going to be held accountable for it, and they don't mind being responsible and accountable for what they do.
Just simple things like being at practice on time, being on the field on time, right. or other responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, they know what the rules are and they're
right.
abiding by them. Coach, let's look at your coaching staff for the 2013 season. Why don't you go over some of the coaching, some of the responsibilities, and let us know if there's any new ones.
Okay. On the offensive side, Tommy Chandler's the offensive coordinator. That's the same role he had last year. I'll be coaching the offensive line. That's the same thing I did last year. In the backfield, we'll have Jeremy Davis helping us out with the running backs, and we have a new coach, Kendall Shaw, that also will be helping with the running backs. And we also have Travis White. He coached the defensive backs last year, but now he's moving to the offensive side to coach the wide receivers. On defense, I'll be the defensive coordinator and coach the linebackers. Bucky Forbes, who was our wide receiver coach, will coach the DBs, and Brent Career will coach the defensive line.
It sounds like you got most of your coaches back from last year.
Yes.
And that means probably your philosophy for your offense and defense probably is just trying to fine-tune a little bit more
right.
from last year.
The defensively, we'll change a little bit. We want to be less vanilla than we were last year, and we want to bring more pressure from all sides of the line, or not line of scrimmage, but all different areas from the line of scrimmage, off the edge, in the middle, from the secondary. Just try to be more confusing to the offenses.
That was one of the problems last year when your defense gave up 30-some points a game and gave up a lot of big plays. Mm-hmm. And so you're adjusting the defense according. What about the personnel? You got a lot of the same personnel back on defense this year.
We have eight starters returning. I don't know if they'll be starters this year, but 8 kids started that are returning. So that's I've already seen that's been a big help so far. I mean, last year we had to teach them where to line up and so forth. This year they know where to line up, It's just a matter of being more consistent and, like you say, fine-tuning the details.
And most of the players, you lost 10 seniors last year off the 3-6 team. Most of them you lost were the linemen, like Matlett, Career, Stone, Blaney, Fitchett, Catlett, the Gribble boy, one of your best players last year, and, of course, Corey Goldstrom. And is Corey going on to play football?
I don't believe so. He had some opportunities, but I think he's chosen to enter the real world of work. Yeah, those seniors, they'll always be special to me because it was my first year as a head coach, and they were my first group of seniors. So they'll always have a special place in my heart. And you're right about the offensive line. That's where graduation hurts the most. Right now, that's my biggest concern is the offensive and defensive line.
And you went during the off season, during the 2-week training period in June. You went down to North Marion and participated in a 7-on-7 activity down there. And your big boys come back with a.
Yes, we won the Lineman's Challenge down there. I was really proud of them because I've been challenging them since January. You know, I knew what was coming down the road, that we lost most of our starters, all except for one, and that we had to get stronger and bigger and faster. And it started in the weight room, and it carried over. The first opportunity they had, they really did well.
Now, looking at the last year's roster, you know, you still got some skilled people coming back. Noose and Parks and DeWitt, Nolan, Shrout, Tasker, McCroby, Dalton, Castile, Rinker, Biggins, Layton, Schaefer, Funk, Updegraff, da-da-da. You got a lot of boys coming back.
Yeah, we're still kind of young, but we are way more experienced. Our junior class, most of them at this point have started varsity football games. And I think the strong point of our team this year are going to be the skill positions. We have pretty good wide receivers, corners, and at this point the linebackers are coming around, but they still have work to do.
And looking at some of your skilled people coming back, Scott Stone started your last 3 or 4 games of quarterback last year.
Well,
how's he progressing?
Well, right now he's battling with Mitchell Thrift just like he did last year, and I talked to Coach Chandler yesterday. Has anyone separated themselves? And he said no. So I think Mitchell's serious about competing for that job, and I know Scotty, he's serious about it. So competition is good.
And when you look at Cal Cool, he played quite a bit in the backfield last year. Josiah Noose, I guess he's probably going to be one of your quickest and best backs. Shane Parks, Nick DeWitt, Levi Nolan. I mean, he was a force last year at receiver, if I remember correctly.
He missed the last 3 games due to a hand injury. We really missed him. But like I said, we got some fast kids. Probably the fastest group that I've ever been associated with here at Preston. We got several kids that can run the 4.6 and under range.
So you're going to have a little speed. Now, question. You had all the off-season training and the weightlifting 3 days a week. How much participation did you have in this off-season training programs that you had?
It was outstanding. Last year we had, well, let me tell you about the Iron Knights. It's an award that we give for making a certain percentage of your workouts. Last year we had 20 kids make Iron Knight, meaning they made over 75% of the June and summer practices. This year we had 39 make Iron Knight. So we had 39 kids make over 75% of the workouts throughout the summer. So that was I was floored by it. I couldn't believe it. These kids are really committed. We averaged over 40 kids per day per workout this summer.
It means they're getting stronger, getting faster, and I would say probably we're developing more of a team chemistry with this, aren't we?
Yes. If you look down over the field there, that mountain over there, we take them to the bottom of that mountain and they've got to run up or push a tire up, a truck tire. That builds team chemistry.
After your first 8 or 10 days, do we have somebody that's really standing out in leadership capabilities among the team, whether it's offense or defense? Is there some boys that's really coming to the forefront to provide this team chemistry and leadership?
Right now I would talk about Nick DeWitt. He's been a leader since he rejoined the program, both offense and defense. The kids respect him, and he knows what's expected of himself, and he's basically like the coach on the field. Kyle Cool, Levi Nolan, all of our seniors have really done a good job of leading this team so far.
Now, looking into special teams, I've read the article in the paper the other day about Mitchell, your punter, and a very nice article, and it has to be something special when you know you've got a punter there can kick the ball 35, 40 yards with a lot of hang time, and it probably determines whether you go 4th and 2 or 4th and 1. How invaluable is Mitchell Thrift as your punter?
He's a very effective weapon. That goes into my thinking when we're in 4th down situations. It would be better to back him up because I know he can kick it. It depends on the wind, weather conditions as well. It's a luxury to have him. When you can have a kid punt the football 35, 40 yards and have it hang in the air for 4 seconds, that's a weapon, and we've taken advantage of it in the past. And we plan on doing it this year too.
Coach, it's starting to rain here again at Knight Stadium. If we can find Steve, our director and producer, so we can get back here out of the rain. We'll take a break, and we'll be back to Knight Stadium after these messages.
From a simple switch, troubleshooting a problem, a new service, to that backup generator that you'll need in times of emergency, Blake Electric can handle all your electrical needs. They have the experience and knowledge to do it professionally and safely and do the job right the first time. There's been an accident. The emergency has left you with physical trauma and legal issues to deal with. The bills are piling up and you're overwhelmed. Where do you turn for legal representation?
Hi, I'm Paul Eastep.
And I'm Steve Schaefer.
We're attorneys practicing right here in your home county of Preston.
Centrally located on West Main Street in Kingwood, just across from McDonald's, the offices of Eastep and Schaefer are an easy drive from anywhere in Preston County.
You don't have to go outside Preston County to hire a lawyer with the know-how, the experience, and the knowledge to represent you fairly in a serious personal injury matter. Call us at Eastep and Schaefer at 329-6003 or visit us on the web at www.eastepschaeferlaw.com.
Well, welcome back. Coach and I are out of the rain now. Steve Blake, we found Steve Blake. He's got us somewhere where it's dry right now, Coach. Let's get back to the special teams. We was talking about Mitchell Thrift and how valuable he is on the field, not only to pin the opponents back in their own area, but especially some of your offensive calls on offense.
Yeah, that he factors into it. When I know that we can, several times last year we chose to pin him deep when we were 4th and medium, where there was a chance we could have had a 4th down or a 1st down, but the better call was to back him up and play defense. Hopefully this year our defense will be a little bit better and make a difference in the entire game.
The place kicker, we had a soccer player last year. Is he coming back to kick for you?
No.
Do you have,
We've got open auditions.
Okay.
We're looking for someone that can kick off.
Because I remember for Jacob was kicking some good kickoffs and so forth for you. And of course, you know how valuable that is to place the opponents deep in their own territory. And so you hear that, we're having open tryouts for a place kicker. So if you can kick the ball, come and see Coach Tennant. So special teams, again, very important. And really your special teams units last year were not bad.
Coverage-wise, we broke down a few times on the punt team, which is ironic because our special teams player of the year was our punter, but yet we couldn't cover the punts he kicked. A couple times they were taken back, but I think that's going to be solved this year because when we lined up for the punt team first time this year, every one of them were back. So they're going to be very experienced, and they're pretty athletic.
Coach, let's look at your 2013 schedule. Again, we're in the Big Ten now. This is our second year in the Big Ten. We were 3-3 in the Big Ten last year. Let's look at your Big Ten schedule that you have this year. And again, some of them are double-A schools in the Big Ten that you're playing. Go over a little bit about the 6 games or 7 games that you're playing in the Big Ten.
Our first game in the conference will be Lewis County. They're AAA. That'll be our second game of the year. They've been in the playoffs the last 2 or 3 years, and I expect them to be in the playoff hunt again this year. One of our toughest opponents will be early on, will be Fairmont Senior. I just read in the Fairmont paper they're preseason #1 in AA. They got some very skilled kids that are coming back. The Skarzinski and the Norman boys. Plus they have East Fairmont's best player transferred to West over the offseason. And they had the Harmon kid that ran all over us last year. And they have 2 All-State linemen. So they're going to be a handful. The good thing is they have to come here to play us.
That's the second or third game of the season here at Knight Stadium on the 13th of September.
Right, and then we'll, not exactly sure of the order, but we have North Marion, Elkins coming in here. After the first game, the next 4 are at home. Fairmont Senior, Elkins, North Marion, and Hedgesville are the new opponent for us, but they're not in the Big Ten.
You drop Morgantown High again. There was a team that really compete with them year in, year out. Over the last 22 years we've been Preston High School, we really haven't been able, I think one time we beat Morgantown once. So you get rid of usually what I hate to say, it's an automatic loss.
Right.
And picked up Hedgesville as a AAA school. They were only 3-7 last year. And with the consolidation going on down there in Berkeley County now, with Martinsburg, Spring Mills High School, a brand new school's being built down there,
right.
And that's going to cause a little turmoil down there. So a good pickup.
Yeah, Hedgesville's losing 600 students to the new school, Spring Mills.
Yeah,
it's too bad for them, but we had an opportunity to play them. They're more, as a program, they're more at our level. With dropping Morgantown, I mean, at this point, we're not competitive with them. We can't compete with them resource-wise, and they have all the resources in the world.
Yeah.
We have to go fundraise to fund ourselves, where everything's given to them, so it makes a big difference. And hopefully, if the program keeps going the right directions, maybe we can see them in the playoffs one day.
Yeah. And you look at the AAA schools, you got University High, Hedgesville, Buckhannon, Lewis County, Hampshire, and Elkins, your AAA. Then you go over and to the AA's, you look at, like you said, Fairmont Senior, and I'm surprised that they're so ranked high with their 5-5 season from last year. North Marion 2-8, at AA. East Fairmont 3-7 last year at AA. And of course, they'll be picking up Bridgeport this year, a team that, like you said, when Sandy came through last year, we didn't play him. So, strength of schedule. Again, we know you have to play 6 AAA schools in order to qualify for the playoffs. What are we looking for, just down the way, possible record or I don't know, maybe it's too early to do that, but how strong do you think Preston is, again, to improve over the 3-6 season from last year?
Well, I think we'll be more competitive. We should improve on defense. We should improve on offense. The kids that we lost, we can replace. It may not be replaced by one person. It may take 3 people to replace Corey Goldstrom, or it may take 2 people to replace one Cody Blaney at center. But I know the kids believe in what we're doing. They work very hard. They made a mature commitment to be the best that they can be, and that's going to pay off.
You've practiced now in August for 9 or 10 days now, pardon me. What are some of your strengths that you can see right now that you're going to be strong at, offense or defense, or what areas?
Well, right now I think the offense is ahead of the defense at this point, which is usually the other way around. I think that's due to the fact that all those skill players are coming back. We have experienced quarterbacks, we have experienced receivers, and we have somewhat experienced running backs. The people we have to replace are the guys up front, except for one, Bub DeWitt. I look for big things from him, both offensively and defensively. He's anchored that line, but we've got a few holes to fill at this point.
How many players may we see playing both ways, offense and defense?
Well, at this point, more than what I thought a month ago. we need some kids to step up. Some kids that I thought would step up. They haven't done it yet. Granted, we've only been in pads one day, but right now we're talking about the whole offense and defensive line going one way. So there's some young kids and some older kids that need to step up, or it's not going to be. I'm not going to be very happy. And that's not good for them.
So pardon me. So you really got some challenges in front of you before we open up down in Hampshire.
Oh, we've got a ton of work to do. A ton of work. We've got two scrimmages and a week to get ready for Hampshire after that. So we're nowhere near ready to play Hampshire, but we have to get there.
Yeah, we got a scrimmage coming up here this coming Saturday, if I remember correctly. Tucker County went to the finals, got beaten in the final single A championship. They got a lot of boys back, so you got a good scrimmage coming up here on Saturday. What time is the scrimmage, Coach?
6 p.m.
6 o'clock this Saturday evening.
Mm-hmm.
Then the following Friday night, the University High School Hawks come in here of an evening on a Friday night under the lights. Am I correct?
7 o'clock. Start then.
So come out and get a little preseason view of Coach Tennant and the Preston Knights for the 2013 season. Coach, feel comfortable with the program starting to grow and the foundations getting a little stronger?
Yes, I do. The thing I'm most proud of to this point is the fact that we picked up 6, 7, 8 kids that chose not to play earlier in their high school career, but they looked around, they saw what we've been doing, and they said, hey, I want to be a part of that. And so we picked up 6 or 7 kids like that are going to stay with us. And so I'm proud of that. That tells me that we're on the right track, that kids are starting to notice and they want to be a part of something special.
Overall, how good do you think the Preston Knight football team is going to be this year?
Well, it depends on our offense and defensive line. Like I said, our skill positions can play with anybody. They can cover anybody. They can play receiver with anyone. We've got the speed. We've got the smart intelligence and experience to do that. But right now I'm looking for some offensive linemen to step up.
Yeah.
Mainly some sophomores or juniors that were sophomores last year. They need to step up and be contributors to this team.
Coach, to finalize here, what's on your mind that you need to tell our fans and our Preston High School football fans about the upcoming season, or anything that you need to tell them?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank the businesses and the parents and the community for being so supportive in our fundraising efforts this spring. We were able to raise enough money to go forward with the program, to pay the salaries, pay the transportation, pay for the paint, pay for the medical supplies, pay for buses and their substitutes. And to say that, I'm so proud. That just tells me that we're on the right track, because people are willing to donate. Parents are willing to give their time and their energy and their talents to something that they think is important. So that's the main thing I would like to tell them going into this season. A big thank you.
And Coach, it's so expensive, like we were talking, $800 or $900, and we want to put our Preston Knights on the field and not only be a football team, we want to look like a football team. And I understand some of your uniforms are a little bit old and raggedy, the jerseys and so forth. Preston High School needs to be represented well where we go, and even here at home or on the road. And that should be one of our objectives, not only as a coach, but also the general public and the Board of Education needs to get involved somewhere along the line. They're part of the Preston County system, and to send our teams, not only football, to away games and they're not dressed properly, they need to take part of that responsibility.
Yes, I agree with the State Board of Education being in control. I mean, it's their responsibility now. They took control of us, so they have got to help us. I mean, I haven't seen any of the help since they've been in control.
So the public, if you got an opinion, I'm very opinionated at times. You need to step forward and let your feelings be known to our Board of Education and our new superintendent. Some cases enough's enough with what's going on here. And looking at our bleachers, and I just noticed that there's a section of our bleachers supposedly that has been condemned by, I don't know who condemned them, whether they're an engineer or whatever, but supposedly the upcoming season we have 4 home games in a row. Part of our bleachers are, quote, been condemned by somebody, and instead of trying to fix it and get help to fix them, they condemned it. Comment.
Well, hopefully we'll have some help fixing them, but like I said, it goes back to the State Board of Education. I don't know how we got into this deficit, but they're hurting a lot of people by forcing us to balance the budget in such a short amount of time on the backs of students.
Yeah, it's again, to me, it's wrong what's happening here in these certain areas, and our kids are suffering, and the coaching staff and the personnel are suffering. We're losing a lot of personnel who are retiring and transferring because of the situation.
Yeah, it just breaks my heart that these kids come out here. I told you how hard they work this summer. They sweat, they bleed, they cry, they laugh. All they want to do is play football with their friends, and that's been put in jeopardy by a few people. It's just a shame that the people of Preston County don't have a say in what's happening in their schools at this point.
Coach, good luck to you and in
Thank
the
you.
team. And I come up and watch practice once in a while, and coaches are teaching football, and there's things going on and so forth. And I'm impressed with the numbers that you've increased in your second year here. There was like 55 or 60 here the other day when I was out there, if I was counting correctly.
We're in the low 50s.
Yeah. And the kids are getting more enthused into playing football here at Preston High. And looking at some of the skilled players, it looks like we can look for a good season here at 2013 at Preston High. So on behalf of Coach Tennant, Steve Blake, our producer, director, and film technician and everything else, this is Gary Livengood thanking you for watching the Coaches Show.